Happy Barbie season, everyone. I'm going to be sharing my top 6 or 7 perfumes that, in my mind, completely epitomize Barbie's aesthetic. This is going to be a video with affordable fragrances. I wanted to make this affordable because I wanted to make this extra accessible for you. So some of these fragrances are less than $10. Some of them are a bit over $50, but these should be pretty accessible to everyone. Let's start off with Opulent Musk by Lattafa. I wanted to include something in this selection that had that sweet saffron note. And this absolutely does. It's a very intense saffron perfume with a woody base and an overall sweet musk that is present in a lot of Lattafa scents. This is reminiscent of something along the lines of Ariana Grande's Cloud and Baccarat Rouge 540. However, this is more intense than those fragrances, and it definitely is a very woody, musky perfume with the saffron. So I feel like this is a perfume that Barbie would wear. However, this is more for more intense Barbie. If you're looking for something that is definitely sweet, nothing that's anything natural smelling, this is very much, I'm in the room, I'm making a statement, and it is quite intense. As you can probably tell, this video will feature a lot of fragrances that might not smell the most photorealistic, fragrances that might smell a little bit artificial, and perfumes that are very light and bright and vibrant. This is definitely the latter. It's Dolce & Gabbana's L'Imperatrice. I've spoken about this on many occasions, so I'm going to keep it brief. This is a beautiful, refreshing cocktail of watermelon, cyclamen, kiwi, and rhubarb. So it's definitely a tart fragrance. It's very refreshing in the heat, and I would say this definitely has like that fun element. It's fun. You can't take this too seriously, but it's very, very pretty, and I feel like this is a really pretty Barbie-esque scent. It's girly, it's refreshing, it's great for the hot weather. This is an amazing option in my opinion. Next up we have Vanilla by Theodore's Calatinas. This is a very gourmand fragrance. It smells to me like vanilla cake with frosting. So it has notes of vanilla, caramel, and patchouli, but I definitely smell a very gourmand edible vanilla with patchouli. So this is giving birthday cake with frosting. It's very gourmand, hyper realistic, and a great option from Theodore's Calatinas. This is in the eau de parfum concentration. I don't think I've smelled the eau de toilette, but if you're interested in a hyper realistic cake-like vanilla, this is definitely one to try. And I feel like Barbie is a vanilla or strawberry kind of girl. That's what I feel like she is. I feel like her favorite cake flavor is probably like vanilla with pink frosting. That's like my interpretation of that. By the way, I don't think I've actually spoken that much about the Barbie movie, have I? I don't know. Today's been a weird day for me. I saw it 2 days ago and I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's amazing. And if you're into Barbie at all, you should definitely watch it. I feel like it's just so... It's not very often that we get a movie, like I'm talking about like us girls, that we get a movie that is just so unifying and so relatable and so nostalgic all at the same time. And I'm really excited about this Barbie movie, and I'm also really excited about the Polly Pocket one that's in the works. If you're not familiar, Mattel is trying to get a Polly Pocket movie with Lily Collins. So I'm super excited about that, but I'm definitely someone who played with a lot of Barbies growing up, so this movie is super exciting for me because I don't know, it's just like so much fun, and I feel like the plot line, I really, really liked it. A lot of people didn't like the ending, but it was something that I could really relate to and I understood. So yeah, I think it's amazing. I'm really excited about the movie. I mean, I'm not the type of person that sees movies multiple times, but this is definitely going to be a movie I'll probably stream over and over again once it does enter the streaming services. And yeah, I'm really glad I saw it. And by the way, I'm not wearing pink because I don't own anything pink. The only thing I have are like pink sweatpants and like that I'm wearing actually right now, you can't see them, and like a pink sweater, but I'm not gonna like wear that because like that's too casual and I don't like going on the internet unless I'm like somewhat polished. That's just like my that's my preference. I'm very I set a high bar for myself. But moving on. Next up is Velvet Rose, also by Lattafa. So I was telling you a little bit earlier on how a lot of these fragrances do have a prominent floral note, And a lot of these fragrances do feature the rose note. This is one of them. Yeah, and it's just really, really pretty. It's a light, refreshing rose. This would be like a floral if you don't want something that's too heavy. It's invigorating, it's very fizzy. It's just such a pretty fragrance. I've recommended this to a lot of you, and a lot of you have actually gone out and purchased it. And some people have really liked it once the dry down hits. I personally really like it in the opening. It's just really bright and fizzy and pretty. And plus, the bottle, by the way, is absolutely beautiful in my opinion. So, this is a highly underrated fragrance. It's like a bright, effervescent rose that I quite like. So, again, next Barbie fragrance, and it's also like in a very Barbie-esque bottle. I feel like it's very feminine. It has a pink juice. It's a beautiful, like, kind of like pretty, it's a very pretty bottle, and it's one of my favorites that I absolutely love. And it happens to also smell quite lovely. A lot of people have been mentioning perfumes that have a lychee note in their Barbie videos, and I think this is a great alternative option, or a great affordable option if you're looking for an alternative. This is Afnan Souvenir Floral Bouquet, and it just smells really beautiful with peony and lychee, and the lychee gives it that juicy tart note. So if you're looking for a perfume that's affordable that also has a dominant lychee note that happens to be on the tart side, this is a great option. I know that sometimes I've purchased some lychee perfumes in the past, but they definitely weren't prominent with the lychee. This one is, which is why I like it so much, and it does last all day, and it has a gorgeous sillage. So I highly recommend this one. I also love the bottle design. I think the metallic roses are a beautiful touch. So this is a great one if you're looking for a lychee fragrance. I feel like this is very girly and feminine, but it definitely has some added complexity to it. I can't really do a Barbie video without having at least one fruity summery fragrance, and this is Yara 2's, also by Lattafa. I have a lot of Lattafa perfumes here. If you're new here, I purchased a lot of Lattafa. I like to have a lot of variety in my collection, so I definitely have different categories, not just Middle Eastern fragrances, but a lot of the Middle Eastern, or a lot of the affordable fragrances I have happen to be Middle Eastern, and I did want to keep this video affordable and accessible to as many people as possible, which is why we're featuring a lot of Lattafa. So this is Yara 2's by Lattafa. It's one of their newer fragrances. This has been hyped up a lot, and I've featured it in a handful of videos. This is a powdery, fruity perfume with mango, passion fruit, coconut, and it's just a really pretty fragrance. Mango is definitely not the dominant note here. It also has some florals and, like I mentioned before, a powdery accord, but I feel like this would be a perfect summery fragrance for Barbie, and I feel like the powdery accord is a scent that kind of meshes in with what Barbie would smell like. I feel like she wouldn't smell like a fruitcake all the time. I feel like this fits. This fits in my opinion. It's just like a pretty mango fragrance. It's affordable, it's accessible, and I really like it. Another perfume I really like happens to be very new to my collection. This is Idole Nectar by Lancome, and it just smells really pretty. Again, you have the rose note in here, but it's done in a way that's very refined and elegant. However, you do have some popcorn and caramel. But it's not an overtly gourmand perfume. You're not going to smell like a dessert when you're wearing this. But the popcorn and caramel give the rose a more approachable twist. So this is definitely not an exclusively floral fragrance. It has some gourmand elements, but it's not overtly focused on the gourmand either. It's a rose fragrance with vanilla and a few hints of caramel and popcorn that is just done quite beautifully, and in a way that kind of injects the best of both worlds. If you're a fan of rose and you also happen to like gourmand fragrances, this is definitely one to try, and I really like the bottle. I feel like a lot of these bottles are very Barbie-esque, and this is definitely one of them. I love like how pink it is, and it's just really pretty. I really like this perfume, and it's one of the newer fragrances in my collection, and yes, I've made quite a dent to it because this is a perfume I've been reaching for a lot. And I think I wore this to the Barbie premiere. Did I? I think I wore this and the next one I'm about to share with you. But yes, this one, standout. It's a great fragrance. Totally feel like it's a Barbie scent. It's girly, it's feminine, it has that rose, but it also is not a fragrance that can be taken too seriously because it is fun with that popcorn and caramel. So I really like this one. I think it's great. I have saved the best Barbie perfume for last, and it also happens to be the most affordable. This is Arasha by Al Rahab, and it happens to smell, to me, exactly like a Barbie doll head. Think plasticky, artificial, but with a feminine twist. And I've mentioned this on my TikTok before. I did talk about this on TikTok. Ignore the notes. I'm not paying attention to them. I think that there's like a rose and amber combination. To me, this literally smells like a Barbie doll head. I can't really think of anything else that it smells like. It smells very feminine, but it definitely has that artificial twist to it that just reminds me of a Barbie doll. This smells like a Barbie doll, but like very girly and feminine at the same time. This is very unusual. I've heard people say it smells similar to Gucci Rush. I think Gucci Rush is actually a bit more complex, but it just smells very interesting, very unique, and this is so Barbie appropriate. There's, in my mind, not a lot of fragrances that can compare to this, and it also happens to be the most affordable. I'm looking at all the fragrances I shared. These are the most affordable fragrances. So I would say if you're looking for something that smells more on the artificial plasticky side, get the fragrance oil. Get the fragrance oil if you want it literally smell like plastic Barbie. But if you want to smell like something that's like, I mean, if you want to smell like less that, get the spray, because the spray definitely settles into something that's like less plasticky. So I think what I'm getting is like an artificial interpretation of rose. And you might be thinking, okay, like why do I want to smell like artificial? Like why do I want to smell anything that's not natural smelling? And I do think that there is a merit to having fragrances that smell like natural ingredients, like to have fragrances that use naturals. But I also think that sometimes it's worth it to have a lot of fun and to experiment when it comes to the scents you wear. And this is a total interpretation of a Barbie doll head. And sometimes it's so much fun to smell different. So, highly recommend you try these out if you're interested in trying something new. But thank you so much for watching till the end. This was a fun one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.